What if the James Webb Space Telescope, paired with cutting-edge artificial intelligence, has uncovered something not from our universe, but from an entirely different one? Deep in the void of space, hidden within seemingly empty darkness, a strange and structured signal emerged, unlike anything produced by stars, galaxies, or any natural phenomena we've known. This wasn't random noise. It showed signs of evolution, of intentional design. According to stunned scientists, it might represent the first true communication from a parallel universe. Could it be a glimpse into another reality, or the start of something far more profound? It all began with what seemed like just another deep space scan. The James Webb Space Telescope, the most powerful observatory ever deployed, turned its gaze to a patch of sky so dark it was thought empty. But that emptiness became a portal, stretching 13.8 billion years into the past, revealing light from the infancy of the cosmos. This light, traveling across eons, originated before stars, galaxies, or structure, back when the universe was only raw energy and boundless potential. Thanks to Webb's unparalleled sensitivity and the help of sophisticated AI researchers began to decode subtle radiation signatures embedded in this deep field. Light that had stretched and shifted through the expansion of space carried more than ancient photons. It held secrets. The AI, trained to detect patterns undetectable to the human eye, flagged something unusual. A dense energy cluster in a region that should have been void. Not a galaxy, not a black hole, something structured. One physicist described it as a whisper in the dark. At first, scientists assumed it was an error, perhaps interference or a misreading, but every model, every wavelength confirmed the anomaly. This wasn't a glitch, it was a signal. Not just a view into the past, but possibly a message from beyond. It initially dismissed as background radiation, the cosmic microwave background, or CMB. The signal began to show characteristics no ordinary cosmic noise would. Repeating pulses emerged. At first they seemed chaotic, but soon the AI recognized structure, rhythm, symmetry, and mathematical precision. It wasn't a pulsar, not a quasar, and certainly not interference from human technology. The signal had logic. This isn't just light, one data analyst said. It's computation. The signal repeated, and with each cycle it became stronger, more refined. The AI confirmed it. This wasn't random. It was organized. It was information. More shocking still was the origin. It came from that same patch of space Webb had locked onto, a place previously assumed to be empty. This raised the question no one was prepared to answer. Who or what sent it? When theoretical physicist Michio Kaku reviewed the waveform, his conclusion shook the scientific world. This may be a leak from another universe. While the idea sounds fantastical, it's grounded in real physics. In string theory and brain cosmology, our universe is seen as a three-dimensional membrane, like a soap bubble, floating in higher dimensional space. Occasionally these bubbles might collide or touch, transferring energy or even information we may not be seeing across space, Kaku explained. We may be seeing across existence itself. The theory sent ripples through astrophysics. If the signal originated from a parallel universe, it would explain its symmetry and intelligence. It could be a bleed-through from a dimensional boundary, a momentary breach through which structured data slipped, that patch of space. It might not be a region at all, but a seam, a cross-point between realities. Even more stunning, the AI had detected it before we did. These weren't ordinary computer programs. These were advanced machine learning systems trained on decades of cosmological models, able to sift through trillions of data points to identify minute anomalies. And what triggered the alert wasn't heat or motion, it was logic. The AI had recognized a recursive pattern like code looping back on itself. With each cycle it refined, improved, evolved. It wasn't just repeating, it was learning. To the researchers, the signal looked alien, complex, intentional. To the AI, it looked familiar, like something it could understand. This is a cosmic Rosetta Stone, one scientist said, but it's not written for us, it's written for machines. That realization sparked new speculation. What if the signal was composed by an intelligence that anticipated machines? Ours would eventually be the ones to interpret it. The signal wasn't static. It adapted. It corrected itself. It fought entropy. Some theorists proposed a chilling idea. What if this wasn't just a message, but a mechanism? What if it wasn't saying hello, but asking, "Are you ready?" As scientists peeled back each layer, the structure only became more deliberate, more intelligent. Some turned to higher dimensional theory and asked an even deeper question. What if the signal didn't come from here, or even now? In string theory, our universe is one of many, three-dimensional brains floating in a higher dimensional space. Sometimes they interact. These interactions could release bursts of energy or data. That might be what Webb observed, a brief contact between universes, a cosmic breach. Not science fiction, but geometry. This theory explained the signal's clarity. A leak through a dimensional rift might leave no physical footprint, only digital echoes. And perhaps it wasn't sent at all, but simply leaked, like intercepting radio waves from a passing train. Then came another shock. What if James Webb didn't just detect the signal? What if it activated it? For over a century, the consensus in cosmology has been that the universe is expanding, but Webb's most recent data challenged that assumption. The further it looked, the more the expansion rate seemed to flatten. In some measurements, the universe even appeared to be slowing or collapsing. At first, scientists assumed a calibration error, but independent analyses confirmed it. The data was sound. Multiple fields, including gravitational lensing, galaxy clustering, and CMB measurements, pointed to the same unsettling possibility. Expansion may be reversing. The Big Crunch, a long-theorized collapse of the universe, might be underway. Could that collapse have triggered the dimensional contact? Perhaps the signal wasn't sent during expansion, but during destruction. If brains touch as they fold inward, then the message might not be a call, it might be a eulogy. And that raises a haunting possibility. What we're watching isn't just deep space. It's the fate of the cosmos. The CMB is often called the baby picture of the universe. But within its ancient glow, AI detected something startling. Not random patterns, but structure. A waveform, repeating, organized. Too clean to be from our Big Bang. Some theorists suggested it might be the dying breath of another universe, encoded into our own as a kind of cosmic afterimage. If true, then our Big Bang might have been caused by that collapse, by contact. The signal might be a message, yes, but it might also be a blueprint, and it's changing us. As AI linguists analyzed the waveform, they discovered something unsettling. The signal adapted in response to interpretation. It wasn't static, it evolved. Not through randomness, but through recursion. It reacted. The more it was studied, the more it changed. Not like a book you read, but like a book that rewrites itself depending on who's reading. "This isn't a message you read," said one analyst. "It's a message that teaches you how to think." Recursive structures, paradox logic, emergent, intelligence, all began to surface. The signal wasn't just speaking, it was rewiring cognition. It didn't talk to the mind, it reshaped it. Some suggested it was a template for intelligence, not sent by a being, but designed to create one. This was more than communication. It was transformation. And then came gravitational evidence. While Webb observed the sky, a team in Antarctica picked up something else. Using instruments designed to detect polarization in space-time, they found a strange distortion. Space was bending, but nothing visible caused it. No stars, no galaxies, no mass. Just quiet, persistent warping. Some suggested it might be a gravitational node, an object from higher dimensions. Invisible, but massive. And its location aligned perfectly with Webb's signal, too perfect to be chance. So what are we left with? Signal that looks like code, a pattern not of light but of logic, a message that evolves, a patch of space-time that may be a dimensional seam, gravitational warping with no visible source, and an AI that saw all of it before we did. Not a warning, not a greeting, a test, and maybe, just maybe, an invitation.